Hello, beautiful. Happy full moon in Aquarius. I'm not going to give you a super long intro today, babe. We're going to get right into it. Okay, that's just what kind of month it is. If you want to work with me one-on-one, if anything I say in this reading resonates with you, check out the description box below. You can connect with me in whatever way that you would like to through that information there. Okay. Let's go ahead and get a message from the Queen of the Moon Oracle to get our oracle message of the full moon. Let's just see collectively what we're dealing with, what energy we're dealing with this full moon in Aquarius. I like to start there before we get into individual readings. Okay, acceptance. Okay, that's where we're at. Heard. Number 4 is the message there, or the number there. Acceptance of the current situation is the first step to change. The past does not exist. The future hasn't happened. There is only right now. The affirmation is, I accept where I am and who I am right now. When we examine our lives and engage in some truth-telling, we are often confronted with what really is. This realization is powerful, but often we reject this truth if it is too hard to bear, or we are afraid of accepting something so difficult. Each of us at some time has dodged our blind spots and then had the illumination of what actually is eventually confront us. What we do next is crucial. Do we accept exactly where we are, no matter how painful or confronting, or do we retreat back into our illusions and remain stuck or unchanging? Choosing to accept ourselves fully and the position we are in enables us to take that next step towards growth. When we can plant our feet solidly into the earth and say, yes, here is exactly where I am and I accept this fully, then we can take the next step confidently, honestly, and powerfully towards where we now wish to head. Accepting where we are right now in its fullness allows us to also accept that there may be some chaos in our change before there is full order again. This can be an exciting feeling rather than one that generates fear if we hold our new intentions clearly. The companion stone is lepidolite. I feel like I do have that stone. I haven't seen it in a long time. It's like a burgundy-ish stone. I know that I have it. Oh, here it is. I think this is it. I think this is my lepidolite. I just be having the crystals, y'all. So I want to make sure I'm not making that up. Lepidolite. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. Mine looks a little bit more red. Lepidolite, yeah. Mine looks a little bit more red, but like online it might look a little bit more purple. I feel like mine looks more red than not. I'm just like looking. I guess, yeah, see this one. Let me see. Pink. Is there pink lepidolite? Look. Whatever. So our message is acceptance. Okay. Heard. So, if this is your first time with me, I do like to use tarot spreads by Biddy Tarot, and the spread that we are going to use is this full moon spread here that I've lost. There it is. Okay. We are going to be looking into, I'm looking at my external monitor. What have I created and manifested since the new moon? The new moon was in Leo at the end of June. Where am I now? What is coming into my conscious awareness? What is no longer serving me? How can I release and let go of these energies? What additional resources are available to me as I release and let go? This has been a spread that I've used for a long time. So I just feel like it's a really good spread to use for my collective readings as we just move through the lunar cycles. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Aries. See how this unfolds over the next 2 weeks as we move towards the new moon, the first of our 2 moons back to back in Virgo. I like to consider these readings to be relevant for 2 weeks, okay? But you're going to feel the energy most strongest. I would say the position of what is coming to my conscious awareness, that is usually what is going to reveal itself within the first 3 days of the full moon. So tomorrow is the 9th. I'm recording this on the 8th, the Lionsgate portal. So by 10th, 11th, 12th, by Monday is usually when this energy, the position of what's coming into your conscious awareness is what's going to come full circle or just kind of be in your awareness by that time. And then the rest of the energies, what's no longer serving you, how can you release and go, what's available as you release. Those are usually the things that play out over the next 2 weeks. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with Aries. I will stop here and get my cards ready, and let's go ahead and jump in. All right, Aries. So for you, dear, what have you created and manifested since the new moon in Leo? We have the Page of Cups here. Created and manifested since the new moon in Leo. We've got the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups does represent the water signs, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. It also represents someone who is young, someone who's very innocent, sometimes naive, sometimes emotionally sensitive. There's a lot of ways the Page of Cups can be interpreted, so please use your intuition. Sometimes the Page of Cups can also be interpreted as a happy surprise. Maybe something surprised you, but you would have manifested this, so I'm most likely not. I am willing to say, if I really had to put money on this, guys, I would say that maybe the past 2 weeks you've been quite emotional. Maybe you've been really in your bag, heavy, these past 2 weeks. Feeling like you're expressing a lot, sharing a lot, maybe more than usual. Maybe you're a little guarded, but the past 2 weeks you've been really open, been very vulnerable. Maybe even to your detriment. Where you are now, Queen of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Now you're like, okay, fuck all that shit. I'm ready to get back to being a boss. I'm ready to get back to taking care of shit. I don't want to be sensitive. I don't want to be crying anymore. I want to get back after it. I want to manifest what I want. I want to tap into my power. Very confident energy, okay? Confident, kick-ass energy. That's where you are now with this full moon in Aquarius, as we are still in Leo season, even though we have a full moon in Aquarius. Still under that fire energy, right? What's coming into your conscious awareness? We've got the Wheel of Fortune, which I'm so happy to see here for you. Now, this could manifest a couple of ways, Aries. The Wheel of Fortune is divine change, karmic change, divine timing, good luck, good fortune, as often the message that comes with the Wheel of Fortune. It is time to change. There is like a karmic cycle that is ending for you. But I hope that, of course, that you get some major good news, some good luck, a stroke of fate. And this isn't always monetary. Sometimes the Wheel of Fortune manifests in terms of a person, in terms of a job opportunity, right? It's not always like a windfall or money or something like that. So anyway, you've got some good luck coming to you. What's no longer serving you is Three of Pentacles. I thought this was really interesting to see here, as the Three of Pentacles is typically teamwork, collaboration, and working together. Now, most of the time, this is related to career and finances or your working environment, but this could translate to a relationship just with one other person. But this could mean that a relationship that you thought was collaborative, that you thought both of you were on the same page, working towards the same goal, maybe that's no longer true, and you're tired. Like maybe you and this person or this group of people, you're no longer seeing eye to eye. You have different ideas of how something should go, and it's just time for you to kind of walk away from that. I don't want to say, maybe not say walk away, because I don't have the Eight of Cups or the Ten of Swords here. The Tower is here. But you may not need to be the one to walk away, is what I think I need to say. You could, if you want to, and step out on your own, because you are in this now confident energy. It's feeling like you're like, okay, you know what? I don't need to be dealing with these people. I could do this by myself. Whatever this is, it's feeling like you want to be more independent, or at least find people who do agree with you, who do see things the way you see them. There's something about a group of people or a person or a relationship where you're no longer seeing eye to eye. and that needs to change. How you can release and let go of these energies is the Tower. The Tower is upheaval, chaos, change. So there's a lot of change coming through as we prepare for eclipse season for you, Aries. With both of our eclipses being next month. But the Tower is upheaval, sudden chaos, and change. It's when things are uprooted from the ground up so that something new can take its place, right? I do sometimes interpret the Tower as things relating to your personal home, like a physical place, materially, like a building. But it's feeling like there has to be radical change in order for something else to take its place. I don't think this is going to be nice and neat. I think this is going to be messy. I think this is going to ruffle a few people's feathers. And I just want you to prepare yourself for that. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just doing my job as a psychic to let you know this isn't going to be pretty. This is going to be messy. Will you come out on top? Yes, most likely. But don't be surprised if people call you selfish. Okay? And I'm not really here to say they're wrong because I don't know your situation. But don't be surprised if people literally say to you, oh, you're being selfish. You're just doing what you want to do. You're not being considerate. I'm really not here to say that you are or are not. It seems like you're doing what's best for you, which is my most biggest concern as for anybody under my collective. So yes, honor yourself, honor your needs, honor your boundaries, and do it as gracefully as possible is my advice. Okay. What additional resources are available to you as you release and let go? We do have the High Priestess here, which is divine information, divine connection. Usually when the High Priestess appears, it means that the veil is thin between you and the spiritual world. So please pay attention to the intuitive hits that you get through. Pay attention to your dreams at this time. Pay attention to those thoughts or those songs that come seemingly out of nowhere. It's not out of nowhere. Spirit is trying to deliver a message to you. Trust the intuitive nudges is really what you need to rely on. A lot of times the intuitive nudges don't make a lot of sense. You could be at your desk and you just hear something all of a sudden, go take a walk. And you're like, take a walk? Why? I'm in the middle of my work and I want to get this done, but you just kind of feel this need of like, no, get up, go take a walk, just kind of stretch your legs. And so you just like, okay, fuck it. You grab your water bottle or something and you go outside to your place of work for a walk. You might quite literally miss a fire. You know, I don't know exactly. I'm not trying to be literal here, but you don't know how you're being protected and you're not gonna know, but you should trust that intuitive nudge. This actually happened to me a couple weeks ago. I was supposed to go to the beach and my friend didn't get here till I wanted to leave my house sooner than, I just saw 555 at the end of this. It's interesting if that's important to anybody, 555 at the end of this link URL. I wanted to go to the beach and I wanted to leave my house earlier than later. And my friend didn't get to my home until a little bit later than we planned. But I had some candles going. I was doing hot girl shit. I had some candles going that I hadn't blown out. I naively keep candles going when I'm doing some root work. So I had to finish making sandwiches. And so as I'm making the sandwiches, my smoke alarm goes off. One of the candles burnt through the glass. It kept going. It burnt through the cloth, burnt through some tablecloth and some money I had on the altar, and started to burn through the wood table that I had it on. So a lot of fire hazards all in one. But had I left any sooner, my apartment would have been on fire. So trust, just trust the process, trust the divine timing, okay? I hope that's helpful. If you're watching for your sun sign, I encourage you to watch for your moon and your rising as well, maybe even your Venus if you feel inclined. Let's go ahead and move on to Taurus. Hi, Taurus. A lot of what I'm picking up on, a lot of heightened emotions here. Okay, what have you created and manifested since the new moon in Leo? We have the Tower here. Now, typically this card describes basically what would have already unfolded, what would have already transpired by the time you're watching this video. We have the Tower, which is usually upheaval, chaos, and change, rapid change, unexpected change most often. So maybe something completely unfolded in your life that kind of made your life turn around, take a turn, change your situation, change your circumstances, okay? For the good or the better, for the good or the worse, I'm not really sure. The Tower moment isn't always terrible. It usually is uncomfortable to adjust to the change, but that doesn't mean that the change itself was for the worst. Does that make sense? Where you are now, we've got the Magician. So now, after this big moment of change, now you're trying to make some shit work. Now you're trying to manifest a better outcome. Now you're trying to like be light on your feet, and you're trying to keep positive. You're trying to be right place, right time. You are just trying to really make it all work. Even though it looks like, the only time we really lean into the Magician is when it looks like it's not going to work. In a way, the Magician is an act of faith. I don't see how it's going to come together right now, but I'm going to just move like it is. I'm just going to manifest, and I'm just going to be high vibes, and that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting here. You don't really see practically how you're going to change your situation around. So therefore you're just like, okay, let me roll with it. Let me just try, right? Energetically. Creating success, creating abundance, creating your ideal reality out of thin air. What's coming into your conscious awareness is the Queen of Cups. Eventually the dust will settle. Eventually you will get to a point before, like pretty much by the end of this weekend or by Monday, I feel like, okay, now I can feel like I can rest. Now I can relax. Now I can like fill my cup back up. For their message, for some of you, there is a message of perhaps family building. Maybe that's happening for some of you, or at least you're trying. I don't know if you're trying, but that message is coming through. Okay. Maybe some of you might find out that you are pregnant over the weekend. I'm seeing like a ton, imagine like a race movie. This is you, Taurus. Imagine like a racing movie, like a really high stakes adrenaline movie, and you're driving out of the tunnel right before the tunnel blows up. I feel like you're just making it out by the seat of your pants, okay? All right. To where you can finally like, phew, okay, now I can relax. Whatever you're going through, whatever major change you're going through, you're going to make it out, but it's close. It's looking like it's not going to work, but you're going to make it. There could also be a message here of water sign energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio with the Queen of Cups. Maybe a water sign is coming into your awareness, or perhaps somebody who is very compassionate, very emotional, very loving. Maybe they're coming into your awareness, or maybe you develop or grow a relationship with that person romantically, platonically, perhaps. What's no longer serving you is the Strength card. The Strength card does represent the sign of Leo, in case there's a Leo in your life that you no longer wish to deal with, or maybe they don't want to deal with you. The Strength card also quite literally just represents resiliency and having to keep it together and having to persevere and push through. And maybe you're just tired of that, Taurus. You're tired of trying to keep it all together. You're tired of operating off of empty, right? Like exhausted. So working yourself to exhaustion is no longer serving. You can't do that anymore. How you can release and let go of these energies. We have the Eight of Swords. You got to get out of your head here. The Eight of Swords is victim mentality. Oftentimes it's feeling constricted, feeling like people are against you. I also get the sense here too, a sense of pride maybe, Taurus. Maybe you're feeling the need to prove something to people. And that's why you're all in your head. Well, what are they thinking? And how are they viewing me? And I just want to prove that I'm not that. There's a little bit of pride here. And as soon as you let that go, and as soon as you realize nobody gives a shit, nobody's clocking you the way that you think they are, the better off you'll be. And even if they are, Taurus, even if somebody is obsessed with you and has something to say, that's a little sad. That means they're not living their life for them. That means that you are the subject of their life and they have nothing else going on in theirs, that they need to focus on you. It's a little sad. And that's a perspective shift, isn't it? It's like, wow, you care so much about me that you don't have anything else to worry about. You don't have anything else to focus on. You don't have any goals, ambitions, and relationships. You're just like obsessed with what I'm doing in my life. Wow, that's really sad. I hope that I'm entertaining you at least. You know, and maybe that's a very Leo response, but like it would certainly be mine. Like, wow, are you entertained at least? You know, I'm so sorry that I am the only thing that's sparking joy in your life, but I hope it's entertaining. Get out of your head, Taurus. That's how you're going to be able to get out of this need to prove that you have it all together. Stop. What additional resources are available to you as you release and let go? We have the Page of Cups. Again, water sign energy here, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Allowing yourself to feel your emotions is really what I sense. I feel like, Taurus, you've been kind of like bottling up your emotions for quite a long time. I feel like you've kind of been suppressing your emotions, usually because of survival mode. And I don't know what you just survived. You know what I mean? But sometimes when you are in a state of survival, I literally think your body does something where like you don't really, like you're kind of numb. You don't really experience emotions the same because you're so focused on survival, on like getting through your situation or getting through your traumatic situation. And I feel like now this full moon is something about it is like, okay, bitch, breathe. Okay, like process what you actually just went through, what you actually just survived, what you actually just grew from. Allowing yourself to feel those feelings, maybe journaling, maybe crying, maybe doing some self-care. The Page of Cups is, it represents a lot of things, but in this reading for me, I feel like it's about really allowing your emotions to surface and really sit with them and process them and feel them. Okay? Explore your emotions. Because really the Pages is all for me about exploration. Right? Like, the Page of Swords is exploring information. The Page of Pentacles are exploring opportunities. The Page of Wands are exploring adventures. You know, the Page of Cups is exploring emotions, you know? And it's not until we get into that night energy where the night kind of like locks in. It's like, okay, this is the opportunity, let's expand, right? Just giving tarot knowledge, dropping tarot wisdom. I hope that's helpful. Drop a comment if it is. If you're watching for your sun sign, watch for your moon and your rising as well. Let's go ahead and move on to Gemini. All right, Gemini. Yeah. All right, what have you created and manifested since the new moon? We've got the Four of Pentacles here. This is oftentimes security, stability, sometimes even conservatism, maybe holding on to your resources, maybe being very conservative with how you spend your time, energy, and resources. The only thing with the Four of Pentacles, this has likely already happened, but you just need to be careful to not walk through life with a closed fist, because if you're constantly worrying about clutching onto what you have, remember that your hands are not open to receive, okay? Where you are now is Queen of Wands. Now you're trying to manifest some shit, okay? Now you're like, hold on. I'm tired of this closed fist energy. Let me try to make a way out of no way. Let me try to, use my charisma, use my energy, use my power to get what I want. Queen of Wands is also fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, in case there is a fire sign that is helpful or important to you during this lunation. Is that right? Is that a word? Lunar cycle. What's coming into your conscious awareness? The moon. The moon does represent Pisces energy, in case a Pisces will be important to you either this weekend or as we get closer to Monday. However, the moon also represents hidden fears, anxieties, and disillusionment. So you may feel like, imagine fog. I often associate the moon with fog. And fogginess, clutter, like uncertainty of the mind, feeling foggy, feeling like, okay, what's my truth? Oftentimes I find that when we're met with the moon in tarot, we don't know what our truth is, or we're trying to find it. We're feeling very disconnected from our truth. And I feel like for you, this full moon is going to distort that. It's going to make you feel like, okay, I'm trying to find where the answers are. 9 times out of 10, Gemini, and I know this is uncomfortable for you, depending on your placements, you are going to have to feel your way through a situation, because yes, you're trying to manifest something, right? But you don't know exactly how to do it, and you're not going to move through this with logic. You're just going to have to do this with your intuition, with flying blind a little bit. You see how in this card her eyes are closed? She's trusting what she feels. She's trusting what she senses and hears around her, despite what she can't see. The moon also represents dreams, so pay attention to your dreams at this time. I'm trying not to draw too many cards for people, but I do want to draw another card for the moon sign. What's coming into Gemini's conscious awareness? Clarify, please, the moon for Gemini. Adjudication. Needing to resolve a conflict or resolve an issue or receive an answer on something. There's something that you don't have answers on. Something that has been very unclear for you. And I feel that either you have to make a decision or a decision is being made about you. You're just going to have to trust your feelings and your intuition on what to do or what's the right thing. Okay? What's no longer serving you? Queen of Cups. We've got water sign energy here, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. However, when I saw this, I didn't really connect it to a water sign. I mean, if that is something that you can take, then, take it. But I feel that the Queen of Cups is typically about compassion, about nurturing yourself and nurturing others. I feel like this is more of a message that you need to stop being a caretaker in some way. Now, maybe this is resonating for yourself. Maybe you've been in a state of recuperation and trying to build yourself up. But if this has been you taking on the caretaking role for others, I feel like it's time to stop doing that. At least for right now, at least for this season, at least for this lunar cycle. You can't be filling everybody's cup. This could be a message to stop filling everybody's cup and fill your own. Or like I said, maybe it's time to move on from the self-care and kind of get into a more active role in your life, and acknowledging that you've done the work, your cup is full, now you've got the energy to move on. You decide what tracks for you. Of course, the Queen of Cups does also represent motherhood, as there is a pregnant woman on the card. So there could be a message here tied towards pregnancy or tied towards motherhood in some way. It may be a change that you need to make either in your goals towards conception or in your motherhood in total, okay? How can you release and let go of these energies? We've got Five of Swords. Five of Swords is really becoming one of my favorite cards in the tarot, to be honest. Five of Swords is like winning at all costs, doing whatever it takes to get ahead, just like a hard-won victory, scrappy, not giving up. Like Five of Swords is like, I always look at the five. If you've been following me for a while, I equate Five of Swords with like the Hunger Games. It's like, I'm going to win this bitch by any means necessary. And that is the vibe of the Five of Swords. So that's kind of what you need to tap into here. If you're feeling a little bit defeated, especially given like whatever judgment might be coming upon you, maybe, or decision that's being made for you, you're not going down without a fight. Okay. What I love here, what additional resources are available to you as you release and let go, is the Lovers. Woo, 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 woo. The Lovers does represent the sign of Gemini. Okay. So this is your power card here. So number one, look within self for the source of energy that you need. That's number one. The Lovers also represents duality. So this is about balance, balancing the light and the dark, balancing the good and the bad, balancing the right and the wrong. And again, the Lovers is tied to values. What do you value? What do you hold dear? How can you get back into alignment with your values, with yourself? And how is that manifested in another person? How is that mirrored in another person, right? Now, quite literally, the Lovers does represent companionship. So there might be a partner in your life, whether intimate, business, or platonic, that helps you during this time, or perhaps another Gemini. If you're watching this for your sun sign Gemini, please do watch your moon and your rising as well. I hope this was helpful. Drop some comments below, please, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. Hi, Cancer. Okay, babe. What have you created and manifested since the new moon in Leo? We have this Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is about options, fantasizing, daydreaming, sometimes head in the clouds in its like worst representation. But oftentimes it's about choice, and it's about kind of sifting through your options and what's available to you. So you've been exploring your options for one reason or another since the new moon in Leo for the past 2 weeks. You've been trying to figure out, okay, do I want to go this way or that way? Do I want to focus on this connection or that connection? You've been really trying to figure out what you want, right? Where you are now is the Six of Wands. So whatever choice you decided to make likely led to a successful outcome, victory, and achievement is oftentimes a message of the Six of Wands, as you can see here. In varying degrees, this could be a big win or a small win, whatever it is to you. What is coming into your conscious awareness is the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is defending yourself, maintaining control. It's keeping your boundaries. There's something, Cancer, in your life where you are just like, okay, you know what? I'm not dealing with that. I want to stay cool, calm, and collected. I just want to keep what I have under control. A strong sense of defending oneself, a really strong sense of defending yourself. Defending what's yours, keeping what's yours, right? I love the message too here of the Six and Seven of Wands. The Six of Wands is victory, success, recognition. But then the Seven of Wands, it's like, okay, everyone's, imagine getting a promotion. Everyone's like, oh man, congratulations, Cancer, you really deserve it. And then like Seven of Wands is like, okay, but like now you have to prove that you can stay in the position and prove that you're worth it and prove that you won't fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? That's the energy for me. And it's interesting that you got these back to back. What's no longer serving you is the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is independence, luxury, abundance. Now, obviously, I would never say that you are not inherently worthy of these things. There could be a message here, Cancer, of maybe doing something on your own isn't working anymore, or doing something independently isn't working anymore. There could be a message here of maybe working too hard. A lot of times the Nine of Pentacles reverse can mean you're working so hard but not able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Maybe even singlehood. That's a reach, but I'm going to say it. Maybe independenthood, being like independent woman is just like not feeling like your vibe anymore. You're feeling like maybe you want companionship, or you're feeling like you want support or family. It's feeling like, to me, doing something alone is no longer working for you, to be honest. Doing something alone, whether you work for yourself, whether that's living alone, whether that's, trying to get a business going by yourself, something that you're doing independently is just not it. How can you release and let go of these energies? It could also be just like in general, just like being like a super independent person who just like seemingly has it all together, but like working really hard. You know the type. Which is why I'm saying here, how you can release and let go of these energies is Queen of Cups, which does represent you, Cancer, as the water signs, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. I also think there's just a message here, Cancer, of like needing to fill your own cup. Maybe you've been working yourself really hard and Spirit's trying to tell you to take a break from I like to call it independenting. That's what I like to call it. I tell people all the time, I've been independenting for a very long time. It's a verb, okay? And I think kind of that's the message here, Cancer, of like, it's time to take a little bit of a break from independenting, okay? We got to refill the cup. Or lean on another water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, or just kind of treat yourself to some self-care, okay? At the very least, this full moon cycle. What additional resources are available to you as you release and let go? Now, interestingly, I got the Five of Pentacles for you. Now, I also don't claim poverty over you. I think it's really interesting of like, I almost feel like these positions should be switched, of what's no longer serving you is Five of Pentacles and what's available to you is Nine of Pentacles. I want that to be switched. But I really want to try to understand the message here from Spirit, which is, it could even be, Cancer, maybe living beyond your means isn't working for you anymore. But a lot of times the Five of Pentacles, for me, the first message that came through was to ask for help. Okay, maybe, you know, a closed mouth don't get fed, so ask for help. Needing to find warmth, needing to find shelter. The other, I'm still trying to process what this could mean for you. I pulled some extra cards and I got message first. So maybe there's some message that will be important related to finances here. And you may be struggling financially, I'm not really sure. And maybe something is going to stretch you financially here that you just need to prepare for. But we also have mature male. So there could be an older male or someone older than you, more mature, that you might find supportive to you in your time of need, either materially or emotionally. I'm not really getting that here though, Cancer. Like for the rest of your cards, and it could even be, you guys know I don't use reversals here. It could even be that you're coming out of financial struggle. Please clarify the Five of Pentacles for Cancer, please, for what's available to them as they release and let go. What else is available to Cancer as they High Priestess, trusting your intuition. What is available to Cancer as they release and let go, please? Hermit, Virgo energy is possible here. Maybe going within, finding the answers that you need, needing some solitude, needing some self-discovery. What is available for Cancer as they release and let go? Needing to make a choice. I'm not going to pull too much because I think I'm just going to continue to confuse you. You've got a lot to sit with, Cancer, okay? If you're watching for your sun sign, watch for your moon sign as well to get like a 360 view of how this full moon will unfold for you. But I'm confident that you will be able to maintain control despite whatever hardships you may be facing, okay? I love you so much, Cancer. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye. All right, Leo. What have you created and manifested since the new moon? We have the Two of Cups, partnership, connection, unions. I also feel like this came, I'm not going to check, but I think this came up in the new moon in Leo, didn't it? The new moon in Leo reading. So a significant partnership is what you've manifested the past 2 weeks. Okay, hopefully that's still going well. Or maybe if you're already partnered, maybe it's just a strengthening of a bond with you and your person. Where you are now is the Four of Swords. You're just chilling. It's your birthday month. It's your birthday, season. You know how Leos like to be around their birthday. They're relaxing. They don't want to do too much. They're chilling. Okay, Four of Swords. You're just relaxed. You're calm. You're trying to rest. You're trying to recover. What's coming into your conscious awareness is the Six of Cups. Now, I did pull a couple of extra cards on this because this is really interesting. The Six of Cups represents a few things. Number one, it represents children, and I do have child here. So maybe a child is coming into your awareness some way, somehow, especially if any of you are co-parenting, maybe this would be a time you get to spend with your child. If you don't usually get to spend time with them around this time. The Six of Cups represents family, people you've come up with, people you've known, like close connections that you have, maybe siblings even. People from your past, people that have significant ties to you. We are at the tail end of Mercury retrograde here, so it could be something or someone coming into your awareness from the past. This could be jobs, this could be people, this could be friends. Something from the past is coming in. We do have mature man here. I'm just kind of showing you this as information. I don't really have anything to interpret or intuit beyond that. Sometimes I see these cards and I'm just like, whatever. And then later I'm like, oh, okay, this is the mature man, or this is whatever. So I'm just sharing it to share it. But there seems to be something from the past that will be significant or come into your awareness this full moon. Now, this could also be an apology from someone from your family, someone from the past, something like that. Okay? Maybe a long overdue apology. What's no longer serving you is Page of Wands. This is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Now, the Page of Wands is someone who is exploring. Remember, I told you I feel like the pages are the explorers if you were listening to, I think, what I was saying for Taurus, maybe. The pages are explorers, and the Page of Wands is the explorer of adventure. They want to see what's out there. They want to create. They want to express themselves. They're very creative, very visionary, but I feel like there's a need to no longer like discover. Okay, the discovery phase is over. Now it's time to just kind of put some things into action and create a plan. How you can release and let go of these energies actually ties quite nicely to what I was just saying. Now we've got King of Swords. Now you've got to use all that creative energy and formulate it into something more concrete. Now you've got to funnel your creativity into a plan, okay? King of Swords here represents air sign energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. So there could quite literally be an air sign that's helpful for you. But I feel that this is more about embodying the King of Swords energy of using your wisdom, using your intellect, kind of creating a plan for you that works, creating a course of action or making a decision that works for you, being very methodical, very clear-headed. For me, this is like about growing up, to be honest. I feel like you're growing up energetically. Now, here's what's really interesting, Leo. Here's what's really interesting. The first card I got for you for what additional resources are available to you as you release and let go was the Three of Swords. I thought that was interesting. Three of Swords represents heartache, pain, anguish, sorrow. This is not always related to a heartbreak, okay? Now, I wanted to see, I was like, well, what are we talking about? Is Leo coming out of anguish? Are they coming out? We got coffin. Something is coming to an end over the next 2 weeks that might be painful for you, that might be hurtful for you. It's going to kind of cut deep. It's not going to feel good. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just doing my job as a sidekick to prepare you, okay? Now, I wanted to see what else came out. We have the Star to clarify that. So for me, there is something that you will need to heal from, which is interesting because you're already in a space of like relaxing. But it feels like to me this feels sudden. This feels unexpected. I don't think you see this coming, Leo, because you're already relaxed. So it feels like to me there will be something to mourn, okay? Something to heal from. The Star does also represent the sign of Aquarius, in case that's important to you, or if an Aquarius is important to you in your life. I don't know what it is. I was trying not to pull too many cards because I'll be here all fucking day trying to figure out what this is for you. Sometimes it's better not to overinterpret and just take it as information, see how it unfolds, okay? If I can say anything though, it feels like something that you need to let die energetically. Something that's run its course. And I don't think this is going to feel good, but it is what it is. Okay? I hope this is helpful. If you're watching for your sun sign, watch for your moon and your rising as well. I love you so much, Leo. I mean, hey, you guys know I'm a Leo too. I don't know what the fuck this is, but I did my own reading in a different way, in a unique way for the next 15 days. And specifically for the 14th, I had the 10 of Swords. So I was just like, oh, hell. Way is coming to an end. So I too do not know. I don't know, but I'm on the edge of my seat. So we'll see. I hope we get through it together. I love you so much. Let's move on to Virgo. Okay, Virgo, I really love your reading. I really do. As per usual, you're going through some changes that are a little bit heavy for anyone, but I like what's in front of me. What have you manifested since the new moon in Leo? We've got the Queen of Cups here, water sign energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But also I just feel like you've probably been focusing on refilling your cup, doing a little self-care, just trying to make sure you're good. You may have also taken the role of the caregiver of like nurturing others in your life, but I hope that this is more so self-care. Maybe you've just been taking it easy, kind of just being relaxed and like doing what you need, listening to your body. Okay. You may have manifested a water sign in some way, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, either in partnership or romantically or friendship. Okay. Otherwise, it's a good card overall. Where are you now? We have the Death card. Don't get scared. The Death card does represent the sign of Scorpio, in case a Scorpio has now entered your life. But it also represents rebirth endings and new beginnings, and also transformation. There is a change happening within your life now. Something's coming to an end while something else is also beginning. A door is closed, a new one's opening in some way. Now, from what I've experienced as I've been paying attention to these eclipses the past few years, what I notice happens is like there's like a, you know, in movies how you have like a rising action, climax, falling action, conclusion. So what I notice is like the past couple of the full moon and the new moon before eclipses are almost like the climax and the falling action. Okay, if anybody remembers this from literature. Whereas the eclipses are like the conclusions, the grand finales. So if it feels like shit is kind of falling apart right now, it's imagine like a movie, like your life is being set up for a grand finale. Does that make sense? I hope so. What is coming into your conscious awareness? We have Three of Pentacles. This is teamwork, collaboration, working together. So pretty soon, within the next few days, probably by Monday, you'll be working with a group of people collaboratively to execute a project, whether personal or professional. Maybe getting together with friends. It usually is working together with other people, though. What's no longer serving you is the Sun. This was really interesting because this isn't a card that I would expect in this position. However, the Sun does represent children. It represents clarity, joy, happiness. You guys know I don't use reversals in this deck. So for me, what's no longer serving you is maybe something related to your children, number one. Number two, this could be that you have been stuffing down your needs for other people, ignoring what makes you happy for other people. The real sense of you've been maybe putting yourself last. Maybe you haven't been having fun, haven't been having joy, haven't been having enough playful moments, tapping into that inner child. Maybe you've been very serious the past few months. You know, you just need to be a little bit lighthearted. Okay, we all need that. How can you release and let go of these energies? We have the Four of Wands here. This is domestic harmony. This is also about rebalancing your household. I do know a Virgo. Maybe she's watching. Maybe this is a... there's this person on TikTok, and I don't know if anybody watches her, but she like has been making these skits of like a hushed, anxious woman at like the local craft store. And like this character she's created is so amazing. And so I just watched the latest part that she released. And it's like her gabbing with like whoever's trying to buy this like little thing at the craft store. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, my son, like he lives with me and sometimes he likes to go. He's like, oh, and she's like, oh, he's 36. And I kind of feel like there's actually I know actually because a lot of them are clients of like parents who are just ready for their kids to leave the fucking house. Which is why I'm saying this here of what's no longer serving you might be the Sun, maybe it's your children, and you're just ready, you're ready to get your house back stable. You're ready to just maybe be empty nesters, right? I don't know where you are in your journey, but maybe there's an energy here in your home that you just don't like and you want to restabilize it, whatever that means to you. Okay. So anyway, lean on your partner to do this. I feel like this isn't the first time I've said this to you, Virgo. This is also a card of community as well. Your community, your family can help you get back to that sense of happiness, maybe get back to that sense of joy. And then lastly, what additional resources are available to you as you release and let go? We have the Lovers. The Lovers does represent the sign of Gemini, and it also does represent actual partnerships, duality, values, and the mirroring of yourself and one another and someone else, right? So, Virgo, obviously I feel like this full moon in Aquarius is pushing you closer to your person if you have a loved one. If you don't have a person, I'm not going to sit here and say that there's someone coming in because I don't know. I'm not really sure what your situation is. But for those who are partnered, this feels like a connection will be strengthened. There's a sense of getting things back to normal, Virgo. Is just kind of what I feel like. There's a sense of getting things back to normal through this change that's currently happening. You'll have to let me know how things are unfolding in the comments. If you're watching for your sun sign, watch for your moon and your rising as well. I hope this is helpful. Remember to lean onto the support. I think the support is coming whether or not you realize it. Just lean into it. Let people help you. Work with others. You got this. Things, keep pushing. Things are coming together. Please trust and believe. Things are falling into place as they need to, okay? I love you so much, Virgo. I'll see you on the next one. Ooh, I just changed out the gas in my soda stream. So it's like, oh, it's like a fresh fizz. This is my drink, by the way. I don't know why I'm sharing that with you. I don't know. What have you created and manifested since the new moon, Libra? We have the Four of Wands, domestic harmony, balance, community. Really maybe having created a sense of harmony in your home life in some way. That's beautiful. I love to see it. Where you are now is Queen of Swords, okay? Air sign energy here, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, but also if you are embodying this energy for yourself, this is being very perceptive, being very sharp, quick, not letting people getting over on you, very much asserting your dominance through intelligence. You're not taking any bullshit. Like, Queen of Swords is exactly how you imagine this image to be personified. Like, you look at this image and you know this bitch is not taking any bullshit. She wants her report yesterday and she wants her coffee extra hot because she's going to need it for all the fucking meetings she's going to be into, you know? Like, no, she's no bullshit. Whether you're masculine, feminine, doesn't matter. This is more about like you being like super keen on what it is you're doing, and you're laser focused and you're observing everyone and everything. You know what I mean? So in a way, the Queen of Swords is very intuitive on a cerebral level, right? Because she can read people very easily. She's trained herself to do that. So I think this is just where you are. You're in a very observant space. You're just kind of watching and observing and executing at the same time to kind of just create the life you want right now, which is great. My nose is running all of a sudden, and my tissues are in the next room, so please hold. What's coming into your conscious awareness? The Two of Wands, planning, projecting, looking ahead to the future, okay? You're very future focused right now. You're really kind of like, okay, this is what looks like is ahead of me, and this is what I need to accomplish if I want to achieve these goals. Very much creating a plan, getting organized about what you want to do and accomplish in the near future. What's no longer, so you're getting into like a planning mode, okay? What's no longer serving you? Ace of Cups. Now this could be a new connection. If anybody's single, I didn't do the forecast for August, so I'm kind of like flying blind. I don't really know what each sign is experiencing. So Ace of Cups is oftentimes new love, new emotions, new feelings. Now this could be, you guys know I don't use reversals. This could be like maybe you're operating from an empty cup. That could be the message here. But this feels like to me something that you were emotionally invested in that maybe didn't come to form, didn't come to fruition. This isn't always a relationship. So I really want to be conscious to like, you know, I know everybody always cares about love and I get it, but it's not always love. And I say that because I remember I was doing some readings in the fall around like my move and and Ace of Cups was actually one of the cards that I got in terms of like outcome and stuff like that. And I thought it was interesting to receive the Ace of Cups in terms of a new home, because that's a new emotional experience. Does that make sense? So it's not always love, but anyway, it's in this position of what's no longer serving you. So there was something that maybe you were trying to grow emotionally, most likely a relationship, but it seems like it's not and has not, will not come together. And how you can release and let go of these energies is to just let it. We've got 5 of Cups here, just kind of like letting go, grieving, letting something die, knowing when to walk away. I just feel like too, Libra, I feel the need to say, if someone has walked away from you or you feel like you're pushing too hard, you probably are. And the only reason you would feel like you're pushing too hard is because someone isn't matching your energy. Now, I know that's a generalization because there are certainly instances where people are too aggressive or too eager. But I feel the need to say that don't feel like you're doing too much just because somebody's not matching your energy. It may not be that you're doing too much, but they're just not as receptive to what you have to offer on an emotional level. Okay? Anyway, so grieve, move on, heal. What additional resources are available to you as you release and let go? The Wheel of Fortune, baby boo. Nothing lost, nothing gained. Okay? It feels like over the next 2 weeks, there will be something almost like a consolation prize, maybe, for this loss, so to speak. Now, Wheel of Fortune can be quite literally, monies. Could it quite literally be a promotion, an experience, some karmic change, something positive to experience materially or otherwise. This could be hitting the jackpot in some way. A stroke of luck, a stroke of fate. Okay. So, in short, you're about your business right now, planning for the future, trying to put love into the mix, but that is not working out for you. Don't worry, because I feel like you're still on top either way. It just feels like whatever connection you were dealing with just isn't aligned with you. They can't go where you're going. Your paths are not aligned. I hope that's helpful, Libra. If you're watching for your sun sign, watch for your moon and your rising as well. I love you so much. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, Scorpio. What have you created and manifested since the new one? 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords is strategy. Sometimes deceitfulness, sometimes getting away with something, sometimes escapism. So a lot of ways the 7 of Swords can be interpreted, but based on what's in front of me, it feels like you were very methodical about how you went about achieving a goal or executing a plan. To me, it seems like you had to be very strategic to get some shit done, and I feel like you were successful. Where you are now is the Lovers. Love to see that here. The Lovers does represent the sign of Gemini, in case that's important to you. It also represents duality. It represents higher self, connection with your higher self. It represents your values and what is true to you. Maybe you're honoring your values at this time. But also, of course, it just represents a romantic connection and partnership. Maybe sometimes business partnership as well. So it feels like there's a significant connection that you're focused on. Again, maybe it's the connection with your higher self. I'm not sure. I think it's a partnership, though, if I had to put money on it. Maybe you're wrapped up in, I'm hearing, oh my God, that's so funny. I don't know if I think it's Jeffrey Osborne. On the wings of love. Da 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 da. On the wings of love. It's like a very old. My parents were born in the 50s, y'all, so there was a lot of oldies stations growing up. Okay, I think it's Jeffrey Osborne. I just heard that, so I feel like you're very like wrapped up in a love affair. What's coming into your conscious awareness is the Six of Wands. There's something to celebrate, something to be proud of, some sort of victory or achievement. So I feel like you're on the up and up. There's a celebration. Celebrate good time, come on. Now, quite literally, my cousin is a Scorpio, and I know she's hosting a barbecue this weekend or tomorrow. So, like, you know, it could even be like that energy, just being around people, having a successful moment, you know. That's the vibe. What's no longer serving you is Eight of Wands. Now, this could manifest a couple of different ways. Eight of Wands is about quick action, moving along very, very fast. Now, sometimes the Eight of Wands could be about getting carried away, caught up in the rapture of love. It could also represent travel, or especially international travel, and sometimes running away. Now, it's more likely that the Seven of Swords represents escapism, but I'm just paying attention to the specific imagery of this card. Now that I've interpreted all the ways the Eight of Wands could be interpreted, to me, this is more about what's no longer working for you is like the pace of life. I think things have just been very fast for you and you just want things to kind of slow down a bit. And a lot of times, and I don't want you to beat yourself up for having to keep up with the pace of life. Sometimes the Eight of Wands is just a message that you didn't really have a choice. A lot of times the Eight of Wands is roll with it, bitch. Okay, keep up. You know, you might be tired, but you've got to go another mile. You know, it's that kind of energy. But I think now we're moving into a slower pace. How can you release and let go of these energies? We've got the Queen of Wands. You got to take control. Maybe you've been feeling like you were being dragged by life, and now it's time to take the reins back. You know, Queen of Wands is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, so perhaps a fire sign could be helpful to you. But the Queen of Wands in general is about embodying that charisma energy, embodying that manifestation energy, and being the energy you want to attract. And saying, you know what, I want to slow down. And you're deciding to just attract that through your way of being. You're not trying to reach for the soft life, you're just embodying the soft life. Does that make sense? What additional resources are available to you as you release and let go is the King of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So perhaps a water sign is important to you, masculine or feminine. But this is also about your emotional stability. I think this is about you just kind of emotionally regulating, being cool, calm, collected, and just being super chill, balanced, and level-headed with everything that's going on right now. I mean, I really like this transit for you, Scorpio. I think you're having a lovely full moon. Enjoy it. I genuinely think you're having a lovely full moon. So I hope life does slow down for you if it's been really fast, and I hope you get everything you want and more and have a lovely end to the summer. If you're watching for your sun sign, watch for your moon and your rising. I'll see you on the next one. Hi, Sagittarius. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. What have you created and manifested since the new moon? We have the Four of Pentacles here, security, stability, conserving your energy and resources. So maybe you've been spending a lot, Sag, and you've been trying to just rein it in with the purse strings, right? And trying to just keep it cute, trying to not spend. Being very mindful of the finances, right? And you've succeeded, okay? Where you are now, we've got Two of Cups. Now there's a connection that's in focus, that's in your purview. Now you want to focus on some lovey-dovey energy, which is lovely. If you're single, this could be a partnership or a business partnership, an important connection that you just want to focus on. Maybe during this full moon is when you meet someone. And I hope that is, what happens if that's what you desire. If you're not really looking for any partnership or companionship, this would likely just kind of getting back in touch with yourself, getting back in touch with your higher self and in alignment. But most likely it is a significant partnership for you that is now in your focus this weekend. What's coming into your conscious awareness? The Page of Swords, air sign energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, but also the Page of Swords is someone who is researching, they're gathering information, they're focused on communication in some way, whether that's journaling, texting, media, whatever. There's a focus on communication. And I think what's important for you is what I'm hearing and picking up on is that You are really wanting to craft your voice a specific way right now, Sagittarius. You're not wanting to be misunderstood. You're wanting to really make sure people understand your tone, your voice, and that you are being heard in the way that you desire, not only literally, but also through media, in whatever way that is for you. There's, again, a research element with the Page of Swords. Maybe you're just like in a research phase, gathering a lot of information for something you want to accomplish, want to do before you kind of put a plan together. So maybe that's where you are as well. Maybe you're thinking about going back to school. Or maybe you are currently no, you're not in school. I mean, maybe you are, but maybe some of you are thinking about that right now. Maybe thinking about getting a certification or improving your skill sets in some way. What's no longer serving you is Four of Cups. Okay. Now, Four of Cups oftentimes represents like looking at the glass half full or half empty. And in the traditional tarot, it's like when the guy has all the four cups, but his arms are folded and there's like, there's one being presented to him, but he's not taking it. So this is kind of like trying to recreate that. I actually do want to show it to you because I think the imagery is important right now. Anyway, the message is that the Four of Cups is like when there's an offer being presented to you, but you don't want to take what's in front of you. Maybe you feel like the offer isn't good enough. Maybe you're not sure. A lot of times it's about waiting for a better offer. You're waiting for a better offer. But be careful, because I feel like, Sagittarius, now is the time. You don't want to wait too long where the offer is no longer available to you. And I'm not saying that you have to make a choice. It's actually looking like you're going to turn away from it altogether with the Six of Swords here, which I haven't shown you yet, but I'm just keeping the reading going as I am looking for the Four of Pentacles, or excuse me, the Four of Cups. And I'm more than halfway through this deck, so I got to turn up at some point. Any day now. And and it had to be right at the end. Anyway, look, here go the card. You see how something's being offered, but he's not taking it? This is the same kind of vibe. So in terms of what's no longer serving you, there's something being offered to you that you've been contemplating, that you've been waiting on, or maybe feeling like, oh, this isn't good enough, or just very apathetic about something. I think you have to make a choice now with this full moon in Aquarius. And the card that is representing how you can release and let go of these energies is the Six of Swords. So this is a transition. This is a turning point. I feel like you're just kind of leaving something on the table, but you're okay with that. Does that make sense? Let's say you interviewed for like a job and they're offering you like way less than what you wanted. So you're just saying, you know what? I'm going to have to respectfully decline. That's kind of the vibe here of just making a decision that's right for you. Even though something was presented that wasn't bad, but it wasn't what you wanted. Okay? You're carving your own path and you're sticking to your guns, and I respect you for that. What additional resources are available to you as you release and let go? The King of Cups, water sign energy here, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but also an energy here of being level-headed, being emotionally grounded. Scorpio just got the same card in the same position. Really just kind of stabilizing yourself emotionally, especially after what seemed like this kind of like important decision or this important pivot, really. But just trusting your guns that you're making the right move here. I know it might feel a little uncomfortable, but trust. I also feel like you're really consulting your partner too. So if you trust your partner in the way that it seems that you do, get their opinion on it, see what they think. Ask them if they think you're making the right decision, and kind of let that influence your choice, okay? I hope this is helpful. If you're watching for your sun sign, watch your moon and your rising as well. I'm going to move on to Capricorn, but I really do hope this was helpful. Have a lovely full moon. Okay, Capricorn. What have you created and manifested since the new moon in... Damn it. Sorry, I'm like, did I just get bit or something? What have you created and manifested since the new moon in Leo? Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so you've been hard at work, to me, in my personal opinion. Oh my God. it's just like a zit, I guess. You've been hard at work. The Knight of Pentacles does represent the earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, but you've been really focused on discipline and dedication and just kind of like really focusing on the routine. You've been kind of like trying to get your shit together, keeping your ducks in a row. Okay, as per usual. Where you are now, we have the Three of Pentacles. This is collaboration, teamwork, working together. So you're really focused on working with other people for the common good of a goal, or for the common goal. Working with others, trying to express yourselves and kind of push a ball forward in some way. This could be at work, or this could be in your relationship. Maybe you're really focused on working with your partner to achieve a goal, or just to try to figure something out that you guys need to get done. So very teamwork minded right now, this full moon. What's coming into your conscious awareness is the Nine of Pentacles. This is independence, abundance, luxury, wealth. So it feels to me that there will be an upgrade for you quite soon, a leveling up in your finances, I believe, or maybe even your status professionally. There's definitely going to be a glow up happening. Love that for you, this full moon. What's no longer serving you is the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands, I feel, at least in this reading, is like just barely making it, just barely surviving. The Seven of Wands is about being defensive and maintaining control and kind of trying to keep some order to the chaos here. And it's about boundaries as well. But I feel like you're no longer wanting to uphold all these boundaries. You're no longer wanting to hold it all together. So you can let that go. But I feel like you'll be comfortable doing that because you're stepping into greater levels of abundance and importance. How can you release and let go of these energies? We have the High Priestess here. Now, the High Priestess is really close to the divine. So for me, depending on where you are, if you're like me and you identify as a Christian spiritualist, maybe this is like having the divine support, right? Of Christ, or however you connect with gods or deities. Lean on your spirituality. But this is also about leaning into your intuition with the High Priestess. Like, trust what you feel, trust what is right. It usually represents the veil being very thin between you and the spirit world. So just trusting, like, the intuitive hits that you get are leading you and guiding you. Okay. What additional resources are available to you as you release and let go? We have the Queen of Wands. Fire sign energy here, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So there could be a fire sign that's helpful to you, masculine or feminine. But there's also just kind of this energy of being charismatic and being spontaneous and like being the energy you want to attract, being very alluring, being very confident. It does seem like there's a leveling up in your confidence, Capricorn. It feels like you're just kind of becoming that bitch. But I'm not surprised because you've been very dedicated. You've been working super hard. And I think other people are noticing. The Queen of Wands is very good about manifesting what she wants. Okay. Very good at manifesting what she wants. And I feel that you are primed to manifest what you want, but because you've put in the work. Does that make sense? Like, you're due. It's not even that you're due for a win. You've created the win. Does that make sense? You've created this. You've done this. You've earned this. I love this for you, Capricorn. I think there's also this energy here for me as well, for you, of like you just kind of like not wanting sloppy seconds. I heard that phrase specifically, and I don't know where that came from. It's not really something that I thought about. You don't want somebody's sloppy seconds. Now, usually when I hear that phrase, I hear it in terms of like relationships. Like, people don't want somebody's sloppy seconds, or someone that, like, imagine you don't want to date someone that your friend dated, kind of thing. I feel like that's how that phrase is normally used. But I'm hearing it more like hand-me-downs. You don't want to take second best is what I'm feeling and sensing for you. And you don't have to. And kind of like embodying that confident energy, Capricorn, is what is exuding first prize energy. You know what I mean? First place energy. Bad bitch contest, you in first place. Okay? That's what I just heard. They ask me what I do and what I do it for, and how I come up with my shit up in the studio. All I want for my birthday is a... I know, like, that's very derogatory, but that's kind of like the vibe. It's giving very 2 Chainz. Like, you know what I mean? It's giving really hope you understand me on an energetic level, Capricorn. I really do, because I'm trying to keep it cute for social media. I feel like you're ready to twerk into your new season. Love this for you. Okay, if you're watching for your sun, watch your moon and your rising as well. I love you so much, and I hope you have a lovely full moon in Aquarius. I was literally laughing, Aquarius, doing your cards because, like, what the fuck? And I feel like as I said that, I feel like you just said, what the fuck indeed. Like your life is what? LOL. Okay, let's just jump in. Okay, what have you created and manifested since the new moon in Leo? We've got Six of Cups. So Six of Cups is focusing on the past. Maybe someone came back, blast from the past. Maybe friends and family have been in focus. Maybe there was an apology that was significant. Maybe you made amends with somebody over the past 2 weeks, and now you're in like a good space with somebody. Focusing on children could be significant here. It feels like there was like some healing maybe that needed to take place relationally, is what I sense here. Okay, where you are now is Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is abundance. It's independent bitch energy. She got her own house. She got her own car. What are the rest of the lyrics? Bad bitch. I don't remember the rest. I'm getting like my independent bitch songs mixed up. Nine of Pentacles, she's got it all, right? She's just comfortable and vibing. That's where you are, okay? Currently, presently, okay? However, this weekend might kind of slap your ass, okay? What's coming into your conscious awareness is the Five of Pentacles. There might be an unexpected expense that comes out of nowhere. There might be a change in your financial circumstance. There might be, now, even if this is not financial, this could be a change in your energy levels, because the Five of Pentacles is about need. And it feels like soon you will be limited with your resources. You will be quite literally starved for resources in a way. Okay. So yeah, you're comfortable now, but it almost feels like enjoy it while it lasts. And I'm not really trying to speak poverty over you, because again, this could manifest in a way that's not necessarily tied to your finances. So for example, let's say you're super rich. You're a billionaire. You're not going broke tomorrow, right? You're an Aquarius. Yes, you're really comfortable today, but tomorrow, maybe you run a company that is super reliant on cotton, and all of a sudden cotton is super inaccessible. Right? And you're fucked up because you can't get cotton to produce your product. It might be like, you know what I mean? It's relative. So it really, when you're listening to these messages, really try to draw it to your situation, which is why I always explain the cards so that you can make the correlations that are relevant to you in your life. Okay? I'm always going to try to throw my interpretation on top of it, but I do want you to understand the situation. So, which, by the way, I'm not getting into that. Anyway, let's move forward. Okay, what's no longer serving you is the moon here, which is Pisces energy. So perhaps a Pisces is no longer needed in your life, or at least maybe not right now. But for me, when I saw this, the first thing that came to my mind is like you turning a blind eye to your situation. Like maybe you've known that you was about to be out of cotton for a long ass time, but you were like, whatever, we can still make our t-shirts. And now it's no longer, ignorance is no longer bliss, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because the moon represents disillusionments, fears, anxieties, hidden truths. Okay, and it's not really working for you anymore to like be unaware. Okay, to be, and maybe even also for you to kind of be anxious. Sometimes the moon represents kind of anxieties, like I said, and maybe you've just been so focused on being anxious, of worried about what could go wrong, that you're not really finding solutions to your problems. Okay, let's move into how you can release and let go of these energies. We've got the Nine of Swords here, and quite frankly, you might just need to crash out. Quite frankly, the Nine of Swords is anxiousness, insomnia, you know, stress, worry, fear. Like, you might just need to go there. Sometimes I feel like we need to hit rock bottom low key so we can kind of build ourselves back up. I feel like, now granted, y'all know I'm speaking from a Cancer moon. So my crash outs are quite literally along the lunar cycle. So, and by that I mean like every 30 days I'm going through some sort of emotional cycle. But I feel like, Aquarius, you need to kind of just have it out with yourself, because I do feel like maybe there is some energy that's suppressed. Oh. Because it would be too easy to sit here and say, oh, just release the fear, doubt, and worry. No. I do actually feel like you need to just crash the fuck out. Now, ideally, you don't crash out on other people. Hopefully, we have a very quiet crash out, maybe in our car, like normal people. The other day, this was, it had to be like maybe Monday or Tuesday night. I was driving home and like just literally just crying to worship music. And I was like, I wonder how many people are, but I always cry listening to worship music. I was like, I wonder how many other people are like seeing or passing by me feeling like really sorry for me. I don't care. I'm having a moment while I'm driving. Let me have my fucking moment. Like, you know what I mean? Just take a moment that you need and get back to business. Okay? I just feel like you need the emotional release is what I'm trying to say. What additional resources are available to you as you release and let go? Now, there is a silver lining because we do have the 10 of Cups here. Your family, your relationships, your community, your people are here for you, okay? Your loved ones specifically. They haven't abandoned you despite the circumstance, despite the external influences. So really lean on your family for support. Please let them love on you and reaffirm how much they need you and reaffirm how much they love you, because I feel like you do need to hear that this full moon in your sign. Okay, Aquarius, I hope this was helpful. Oh, also too, the 10 of Cups is like dreams come true, big happy family, and not really wish fulfillment. It's more like dreams coming true. So there again, there's a silver lining here. There's a silver lining here. There's a crash out. There's a crash. It's not a calm before the storm. There's a crash before the blessing. I was telling one of the other signs, I was saying like for the eclipses, I feel like the 2 moons before eclipses are almost like the climax and the rising action, or excuse me, the rising action and like the falling action right before the conclusion. Does that make sense? Is how I interpret it. And I feel like that's what's happening for you. I don't say these things to scare you. I say these things to prepare you. And I'm not ever trying to like prove me wrong, bitch. Like I'm never trying to be that. My one and only goal is to prepare you so that you can move through your life accordingly and so that you won't be blindsided when life starts lifing. That is my number one goal for you always. Never to fearmonger you, never to trip you up, never to fuck you up. So if I'm saying, hey bitch, your finances might be a little crazy coming up, maybe let's put $100 away. Or whatever you can put, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to help you is all I'm trying to do. Okay? I love you so much. If you're watching for your sun sign, watch for your moon and your rising as well. And I will see you on the next one. Bye, Aquarius. Okay, Pisces. What have you created and manifested since the new moon in Leo? We've got Empress energy, motherhood energy, divine feminine energy, abundant energy, luxury energy. Also just like soft life energy, right? You are chilling, maybe you're just in your Empress era, okay? Vibing, relaxing, enjoying what's left of summer, not rushing, you're attracting. Really cool, calm, collected. Maybe if you're a mother yourself, maybe you're just like really hyper fixated on mom mode, okay? Y'all know my mom is a Pisces, so I've been momming her to death. Where you are now, we have the 2 of Swords. So there's an indecision here. You're trying to make an important decision on something. Only you know what that is, and 9 times out of 10, you'll have to trust your intuition, which is maybe why you've been going back and forth for this long, okay? We've got the Lovers here in terms of what's coming into your conscious awareness. The Lovers does represent the sign of Gemini. It also represents duality, relationship to your values, relationship with your higher self, having yourself mirrored in another soul, right? I think I said it represents Gemini energy already, but it also quite literally represents your romantic connection. Excuse me. This isn't always romantic, but most often it is, but it can also represent a significant partnership for you. So for example, if you're not dating, maybe there's a significant partnership that comes into your awareness. I'm more inclined to believe that this is a focus on a romantic connection. I don't think this has anything to do with what you've been going back and forth on, but it could. Whatever you've been trying to debate, whatever you're currently trying to make a decision on, feels irrelevant to the connection that you will soon be focused on, okay? I love this for you, though. I do like seeing the Lovers here. It feels like maybe if you are partnered, it feels like that union is going to be strengthened. If you're single, it seems like maybe a new connection will grow. What's no longer serving you is the 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles represents teamwork, collaboration, working together. There may be a partnership or a group of people that you've been working with that maybe you're just not seeing eye to eye and you're not really making any headway. So maybe you make the decision to break away, or maybe to stop working with this group of people or stop working with this person. There seems to be some collaborative effort that isn't working. Another sign got this card as well, but I forget which one. Maybe it was Sagittarius. No, not Sag. I forgot, but another sign got this card in this position. You just don't want to, I think it was Aries. It's like you just don't want to work with them anymore, and that's okay. That's okay. And you can decide too, if maybe you guys were trying to create something, like let's even think it was a designer, right? Let's say you were working with a designer of some sort. You can decide, okay, you know what, I thought we had the same vision, but maybe we're just not aligned, and that's okay. Pay that person for their work and move on. Amanda Francis is coming to mind. I don't know this entirely. I'm not entirely sure, but I think when she was editing her book, I think she was struggling to find an editor. And I think she realized someone she was working with at first really wasn't understanding her voice and how she really wanted to come across. So eventually decided, you know what, this person isn't working. I've got to just move on and find somebody else. And sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you just have to say, okay, you know what, this isn't working and I got to move on, and it's okay. You could do so respectfully, right? That's okay. How you can release and let go of these energies, we've got 10 of Pentacles. Now, to me, given that the 10 of Pentacles is here, it would appear that whoever you want to break away from, whoever you want to stop working with, you will be able to do so because of an influx of cash. So let's say you was only working with one designer because maybe their rate is what you could afford, but maybe you got some new cash, so now you can afford a better designer. That kind of feels like the vibe. You can upgrade, so now you don't have to settle with whoever you've been working with, okay? What additional resources are available to you as you release and let go? We have the 3 of Cups. Community, friendships, gatherings, coming together. Feels like there's going to be some sort of gathering for you closer to the new moon in Leo, where you're just kind of focused on friends and family and just having some girl time, if you will. I love that for you. I think right now, Pisces, you're thinking you're really focused on whatever decision you need to make. But I actually feel like these next 2 weeks are going to work out quite nicely for you. You'll have a lot to look forward to. You're strengthening your relationships. You're strengthening your finances. I love the end of summer for you. Truly, I do. I feel like maybe let's pick a card. Let's pick a yes/no card for your 2 of Swords. Now you decide what yes is and you decide what no is, okay? Oh, no. I'm sorry, for whatever reason, I don't even know why I'm seeing this. My computer, I just hit my mouse and my computer is showing me news. Dead husband, how did I even get to that? Kelly Clarkson's ex-husband dies at 48. It feels like maybe there's what is that ID, the ID channel? One of them Discovery documentaries coming. Did Kelly Clarkson kill her husband? Okay. You decide what yes is. You decide what no is. I don't hold much weight to these cards personally, but sometimes I do like to interpret the actual messages on the card regardless of what yes or no is. So let's see what decision you're going to be leaning towards, or what the outcome will likely be for you, whatever you're trying to decide on. What is the outcome for Pisces? Please, just one card. Just one, please. Make it very clear for us. What will the outcome be for Pisces? And I said make it very clear, and then the card comes out sideways. What's facing me is no. Last minute changes, too late, behind schedule. Like the card, like this is what I was able to see. I wasn't able to see that. It was, this part was facing me. So that's what I'm going with. Last minute changes, too late, behind schedule. Maybe you might make a decision before when it's too late. You might finally decide to go with something, or like to get on a cruise, but now the window's closed. I don't know. What do you have? Where is Pisces leaning? Make it very clear for me, please. What is the outcome going to be for Pisces? Okay, now this one is face down, so I'm going to turn it over. It's flipped down like this. So yes, taking flight, uplifting at peace with decisions. But I do kind of feel that here, though, again, with this like kind of like, you know what, you're rising above kind of thing, you know? Taking flight, uplifting at peace with decisions. Last minute changes, too late, behind schedule. And it might not even be you that's behind schedule. You might be dealing with somebody who's, like, again, you're tired of working with this person. They ain't never on time. They never got what the fuck you need. And you're just like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. And maybe that's why you're at peace with the decision, because you're just like, I'm moving on. Right? And that's why I said I don't always take the yes, no quite literally. I look at the messages. So, you know, that's all part of intuiting. But I hope that's helpful for you, Pisces. All right. I hope this is a lovely full moon. If you're watching for your sun, watch your moon and your rising as well. I love you so much. It seems like you're going to have a good full moon, even if you think you won't. Come back in the comments and let me know. I love you. See you later. Bye.